So what I can say, all right, I got 2 broken trucks and it's time to try and combine them into one working truck, not broken truck. Okay, so this one is new for you guys. It's another 06, obviously in significantly better condition than what we had with the other truck. It is a more base model, so interior not quite as good, not leather. It's missing a bunch of stuff the other truck has. The other one is a Laramie, which has actually been towing the trailer. This is just, I mean, other than a couple of spots here and there on the bed, completely rust free. Honestly, I'll probably just pull the whole bed off it and find another one. But it has a blown rod bearing or spun rod bearing, as you can hear here. So I did go through an injector test and confirmed that if I disable any of the injectors, it's not stopping the issue. Either way, no matter what's going on with it, I want this one out because we have a fully built engine from RLC on the black truck. Sorry, it's back there. So I want that in there. I mean, it's got a fleece head. It's been completely redone, new injectors, everything. Yeah, so that needs to go in. So for right now, I need to get this bad boy out. I've done a bit of research on how to get it out of there. Essentially, we are going to take off everything through the front and it's going to come out this way. And then once that is out, then the black truck will then pull up here. It will come out and we will swap those around. The black truck will then be able to back out and pull the gray truck will be able to back out, pull the black truck back wherever it needs to go. So that is the plan for today, is to see how much of this I can get pulled apart. It is a Wednesday, my dudes. So we're gonna see. I would love to have this out completely by the weekend, but I don't know if that's gonna end up happening. So we'll see. I'm having to kind of do this obviously during daylight hours because it's getting dark real quick. So right now, I'm gonna get the cross members off and then start pulling everything out of the front. That'll make it easier to access. And I have to lift up the cab apparently, which is gonna be a massive issue with the black truck because it is rusted to shit. For right now though, let's start with the easy one, learn off of it. And then we'll deal with the black truck after. And yeah, let me know what you think I should do with the black truck. I am gonna see if this engine is worth saving at some point, but it needs to come out first. Okay, doing pretty good so far. Thankfully this is not a rusty chassis, which I mean, concerns me for the other one. I'm gonna see how much of this stuff I can kind of just push off to the side. The AC I can disconnect for sure, because I know it's empty. Power steering, I mean, if I can get the little collar lock things off, I can pull that off. Or sorry, transmission, power steering, same thing. If I can get it all out of the way. Got to look up how to take the fan off. That's, I'm sure there's a relatively easy way to do it. I just don't know. And then after that, I'll probably tackle a bit more of the wiring and just see what connectors I can take off. And then after that, I believe I need to jack up the cab and then get into the Bellhousing bolts. So it's like, I think 6 or 8 total bolts. They're just big. And then I gotta jack the cab up, which won't be easy because I just have a normal floor jack, but I've got some boards and things. I'll figure something out. So that's kind of where I'm at, but I mean, we're making good time. I'm like an hour and a bit in, and I would say that like, I'm not gonna say the easy part's over, or the hard part's over. I'm sure that was the easy part. But yeah, pretty happy with the progress so far. It'll be interesting to pull the oil pan out of this at some point in time and see. I should probably drop the oil before I lift the engine out just to pull that extra weight. But yeah, so far so good, knock on wood. Okay, it doesn't look like a lot of progress, and that's mostly because visually it's not, but I did break 2 chassis bolts, so that's progress. They're just the nose ones, thankfully, so those are the easiest ones to fix. I now have to grind the bolts off of the side steps because they are kind of like arched up underneath. I don't know if you can tell from here, but more or less they're holding that up. But I'm gonna use a good old piece of oak, jack this bad boy up, throw some hockey pucks in there. That'll lift the cab up a little bit, and that will make pulling this out easier. Also, I didn't need to take the bolts off the fan. I need to take that large one off, but it is 1 7/8 inches or something ridiculous like that. So making good progress. I think I got most of the wiring pretty much done, but once the cab is up, then I can undo the Bellhousing bolts. And then I got to figure out how to get it out of here, because to be honest with you, I don't have a jack stand. My neighbor does. Or I don't have an engine hoist. My neighbor does, and it's all the way in that shit over there. So Keith, buddy, I'm gonna need some help here. But either way, that's what we're working on right now, and I might get this like at least ready to come out by dark. I should probably pull the hood off, but I'll do that near the end because I just want to be able to close up if I need to. And I shouldn't say it. I'm just shocked that it's this easy to take off. Okay, where we are at is cab's jacked up. As you can see by the hockey pucks that are there. I actually have some ASA 3D printed blocks that I use for that side. The Bellhousing bolts are done. The torque converter bolts are done. I have 2 fuel lines left to pull, and that should be it. I just need to get the tool. Tried doing it with the pick, but kind of messed up my hand a bit. So next up is going to be just getting the lift from my neighbor, and then I should be able to pull this out. I am shocked that I did this in an afternoon, to be perfectly honest. I don't think the other truck is going to be nearly as good. I can show you around this one quick if you want. So it's really nothing all that crazy. Like I said, it's got the one rust spot in the back. This is a replacement bed. The old one, it looked like it was red, as you can see back there. So I'm going to get another one just to clean this up, but it's not a huge deal. And then inside, I mean, it's really nothing to write home about. Sorry, let me switch sides. It's real bright. Yeah, it's nothing crazy in here. It actually has the manual 4-wheel drive, which I prefer, that over the electronic. So I got stereo put in it, but yeah, I mean, just a pretty standard cab. I will swap out my center console and jump seat and probably my seats as well. I mean, these aren't bad, but the leather ones are kind of sick, and I'll have to see if I can find a way to get the heated seats up and running for it. I'm not sure. Other than that, I mean, there is nothing all that crazy with these seats. Is power on that side. Back seats are pretty standard. So you can see, nice and clean. The one big upside is that this has a gooseneck already put in it, which is fantastic. Outside of that, it has a Smarty Touch tuner on it, which is a little old school. They still work well. I know it does have a tune on it. Yeah, other than that, I think I'll probably just clean this up and maybe a better stereo, better speakers. I want it to be a good road trip car. Probably sound deaden in the doors a little bit more. And yeah, other than that, I do like the body lift though. I might have to look into that. I don't know how hard it is to truly body lift these trucks, but kind of like it. So that's going to be it for today. I am going to see if my neighbor can get that engine hoist out for me, or see if I can borrow one. And hopefully tomorrow I'm able to pull this bad boy out, and then we got to work on the rust bucket. So when I come back, hopefully we're pulling an engine. Okay, welcome back to day 2 of this. We're a few hours in. It's gone very well. We are now getting to the point of ready to pull the engine. There's a few small things left to finish up. Got to reach in there and get those 2 fuel lines done. That is going to be the major one. The starter power wire, I'm thinking I'm just going to like decouple and pull that out, because to get to it, it's a pain, and everything else is relatively easy to get to. That's going to be the engine mounts. So I'm going to jack up the transmission once I lift the weight up off of this. That way the transmission doesn't drop down. Everything should pull out in a line. So I'll pull the weight up here, then brace the transmission, and then undo the engine mounts, and then I should be able to just pull this bad boy straight out. That is the plan as of right now, but you know what they say about plans and such. So I believe I got everything else disconnected. I got to double check a few things, but should be good. I guess while I'm in here too, now that the oil's drained, I'll be able to tell if there's a bunch of bearing material in there. So we're going to find out either way. Probably going to pull the bottom end of this engine and take a look at it and find out, because if I can have this one back up and running relatively cheap, it's just going to go back in the black truck, which is then just going to become an off-road truck. So kind of sucks that that vehicle, which I've obviously had a lot of memories in for a very long period of time, will be relegated to just off-road, but kind of full circle, because you know, it's not good for the road anymore, and can still have some fun. So maybe once it's an off-road truck, I can bring Garrett, Clayton, and Andrew back down, and we can go beat on it out in the bush. So get this oil dropped. Oh, what are blocks of almost completely solid ASA. I don't even know if the video's already come out or where I'm at with it, but I've been doing a massive 3D printing project on. I made these, and they are very, very solid. And I think I'm going to bolt these two together, so holding up the transmission. So headphones are coming out. Let's say no. Back valve cover a little bit. Here are detached from the transmission. On the back of the valve cover is not balanced correctly. Not super happy. Hate dealing with stuff that's up in the air. Of course. Okay. Cleared. Next problem. Okay, we're still feeling like we're hung up on something. That's clear. Now just that one connector. Okay, we are out. Neighbor Keith came over, gave me a hand, but we are out. Just fantastic. Looks like pretty much a stock engine. Not seeing anything on here that indicates a bunch of work's been done. Yeah, still the Bosch pump. Yeah, pretty sure it's pretty much stock, but this is ready to go. And here, right here, is half the reason why I bought this truck. SunCoast converters. So I'm going to run some numbers on this, make sure that what I was told when I bought it is true. But we're going to strip out a bunch of this sound deadening because it is falling out anyways. And then, yeah, clean up the engine bay and then get ready to pull the next one. Yay! All right, got her all sprayed down with degreaser. So took a look. This is a triple disc torque converter. You can look up the code and stuff on, or maybe I'll put a screenshot up there. But either way, that's done. I did go back through the old receipts I had with them and kind of confirmed all of it matches up, at least with what I'm seeing here. But I think I'm going to get the pressure washer out, give this a good clean, maybe give it another shot with like the spray cannon or something like that and really get it cleaned up. And then, yeah, from there, it'll be starting to put some of it back together. And then I'm debating whether or not I want to get the other truck pulled over here. It is Thanksgiving when I'm filming this. Not that we're really doing much, but I'm just, I'm kind of tired. And I just don't know if I want to tackle the next truck right away. We'll see. Yeah, let's clean this bad boy up. And I'm pretty pumped. I've never had a truck this clean before. All right, there we go. That might have been potentially the last drive I ever put in that truck, was unhooking the trailer and pulling it in here. Obviously, I hope that I get to drive it more. And the goal will be to take that engine, put a new bearing in it, put it back in that truck. But let's be honest here. The chances are pretty slim because I don't have a ton of time, but I do have all winter, so we'll see. So this has been all cleaned up. It's not perfect. I mean, obviously I could spend more time and get in here and like absolutely scrub this whole thing down. But it's still a truck at the end of the day. So yeah, that's where it's going to live. This one, I'm hoping everything goes really well, simply because RLC had already built this engine. So did a bunch of work to it. Basically, it's a fleece head. Did a bunch on the cooling system. Just did a bunch of work overall. So fingers crossed, it is going to be fairly easy to pull out because they've done the majority of the hard work for me already. So thank you, RLC. If you're looking at getting an engine built, I highly recommend them. They were incredible, and you can find out more about that in one of my previous videos. But for right now, it's time to start digging into this bad boy. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna hurt a little bit, but it's done what it needed to do, and now its engine will be heading into this one. Neat name for this truck, by the way. Okay, good morning, everybody. Took a day off from working, just needed a bit. Yeah, nothing bad, but there's a couple things in doing so that I researched that are going to be pretty crucial in the next couple of steps. Now, some of this just comes down to I was not planning on doing this week. I thought I had an extra week, but I just wanted to do it. I want to get into it. So yeah, that's where we're at. So two big things that I feel like I've missed. Here's the first one. It's going to be this computer here. So after doing a bit of research and making up a couple of phone calls, this computer needs to stay with this body. So it's got to come off and it will then go on that engine. There's going to be a couple weird things with this. This has a Smarty Touch tune on it. And obviously the engine that's going in has bigger injectors, a couple of other mods. So that might screw things up. So I'm going to have to get on tuning pretty much right away, but I just want to see how this is all going to work out. The other one is going to be this. So obviously I'm running a fast in the black truck. I don't have a fast system for this one yet. So I am going to have to bring over the filter and it's got the water sensor and stuff into it and put it on the other engine. The other one does have it, but I don't think it's been operational for quite some time. So I think it's been completely bypassed if I remember correctly. So those are the two big things. Now I have like some cleanup and stuff that I still need to do. I kind of just dropped this part way through. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So this still needs a little bit of work to get the engine out. I got to get this cross member off, which has been a bit more of a pain than I was hoping for. And then kind of the usual stuff with what we've seen before. The other part is when I came back out to this isn't nearly as clean as what I wanted it to be perfectly honest. And I'm really, really tempted to like give this a solid scrub, really get in there, clean this up, and potentially paint it. Because I mean, I don't need to, but it's one of those things. I'm in here. I don't know the next time I'm going to be in here. I may also like crack these bolts just to do it, and then throw some anti-seize on it just to make sure. And then yeah, we'll go from there. But I don't know. We'll see. I think the primary goal needs to be just get this to a point where it's either completely out or ready to come out, and then start making some decisions. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments as well about what other stuff I should maybe do. I don't know when this video is going to go out. It might go out before this engine's even into that one, so there should be some time for you guys to leave some comments and stuff. There's other stuff that I need to do. Remember, this engine still has a bunch of work done to it. The coolant distribution kit, which is massive. I may make some phone calls about doing an upgraded CP3. This was flow tested from, I believe, SP. SS. They did testing on it, as well as the injectors. There are new injectors that are in there, so I don't need to do that. But that's what I'm thinking. So yeah, you can see like this has been completely bypassed when it comes to the actual fuel setup. So at least part of it, the feed, so the return's still there. So either way, I don't want to pull the fast kit off this just to throw it on that. I'd rather throw a brand new like titanium signature series or something like that on this truck, make sure it's good to go. But I'm back to getting this engine out, and we'll see how much progress we make. Okay, a few things that I'm hung up on. One, I really want to take this fan off. I don't want to break it. There's part of me that wants to just switch to electric fans on this. I've heard back and forth, heard some people say there's nothing better than the clutch fan. I don't know. I don't want to just buy something for the sake of buying something though, and this has gone really well. The other one is I really wanted to take off power steering reservoir, but literally that bolt right there, you can see it, will not come out because it hits the pulley. And I don't feel like taking off that pulley, but I may have to take off the entire power steering pump. Other than that, a lot of the wiring and stuff coming off. First fuel line off. I'll have to get down there, do the second one, or I might have to pull the engine out. I got a couple more little bits and bobs here, and then we'll be moving on to breaking the bolts in the cab, which more than likely on this will literally mean breaking the bolts in the cab. The two bolts, if you remember correctly, on the front broke on the good cab, so I can only assume this one is going to be significantly worse. Yeah, I still have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I have a feeling I can get in there and like take the nut out and then just buy new bolts to put in, but we'll get there. So yeah, I think I'm going to mess around in here just a little bit longer, see if there's more stuff that I can get to while it's up here, and then move under the truck. My goal was to kind of do everything up top while I've got overcast, but Florida, yay, looks like it might rain even though it says it's not supposed to. But that is just living in Florida. So yeah, we'll see. Pretty happy with the progress so far, but I've also left some of the big ones. Oh, also this Crossmember, on that one they cut off the end, and on this one I cut it down the middle. And what was interesting is it looks like RLC did the same thing. When they pulled it, they just cut spot and then welded it back together. So that's what'll end up happening here. You just can't. I think you might be able to, like if you pull that, if you pull the two things, you might be able to like pry them apart or something. But regardless, a quick cut is nothing, and then a quick weld is nothing. So yeah, we're getting pretty close. A couple little wires, little piddly bits here and there. I'll probably try and get everything tied up and zip tied up to the engine. That way when I pull this out, everything is good. I do have to get to the exhaust to disconnect that bad boy. And yeah, we're getting there. Getting very close. Okay, shockingly, all but one came out just fine. One of them broke. I did have to get the air impact going. It gives you an idea. But yeah, they're in shockingly good shape. So we'll see. I mean, the upside is now I have an extra bolt for the front. But it means now it's time to lift up the cab. And this is a very, very rusty truck. So I'm concerned with lifting up the cab and seeing if we punch through the floor, which is a real possibility. So that is next on the docket. Okay, so here's where we're at. The Bellhousing is disconnected. The torque converter bolts are now out. It's getting real close, so I'll probably break loose the engine mounts here in a moment, do another double check over everything. But yeah, we are very, very close to getting this bad boy pulled out, which I'm pretty pumped for. So yeah, we'll see. I might actually stop and start pulling some parts off of that. That way I can get this done and not have to worry about it while it's up and swinging. And I'll get everything set up for that. I might have to call my neighbor back over to give me a hand, but very close. Okay, computer's out. Fuel filter housing is out. I believe I have all the electronics, all the bolts, everything. I mean, I say that, but until you get it up in the air, you're not going to know. Still cannot get this fan off. I need a 1 7/8 thin wrench. Just don't have it. Tried a bunch of stuff, but I don't want to mar it up. So I'm just going to have to be very careful when we take it out. Yeah, gotta undo this one, strap that bad boy up, and then, oh, jack underneath the transmission. And then I think we're good, hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, let's try it now. For some reason, this engine was missing the hoist point on the back, so it's not a big deal, but stole the one off the other one, and let's try this one. Forward as I can. Movement, active on anything. Most secure the transmission. And you're holding on to off the exhaust. All transmission fluid. Weird. It's coming out of the cooler. Doing all right. Not as easy as I was hoping. Transmission just didn't want to let go. All right. Right in the middle. Ooh, that's a good sign. Your mount's completely out. That feels like the transmission problem right now. Front again, back down. That's from the front. Dropping fluids absolutely everywhere. And this is why you always use cotter pins. Don't be like. I think that's the issue. And if it lets go, it's going to be violent. I'm not getting any further ahead. And I'm just getting frustrated, but it is further ahead. So I feel like I need to jack it from the very front. Okay, we are out. That sucked. I honestly, I was stupid. I rushed it and thought I had everything and didn't double check, and that's 100% on me. But here we are. You can already see just how rusty this frame is. See back there. The thing that I was missing is I need to lift up the cab even more than I thought. So that is where we are at. Oh man, so nice. All right, I lied, and there's some updates. What I lied about is we're not ending the video. We're gonna keep going, and the update is, well, that engine's already in. So I did try and film it. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot and just didn't hit record. But you might be wondering why we're gonna keep this video going. Well, I didn't think it was a good idea to split it up, and I made a bunch of decisions. So let me run you through all that right now. So first of all, yes, engine's in. Second, there's a new kind of goal and timeline now. My wife flies back in. She went on a little mini vacation over the weekend, and it would be sick if I could pick her up in this truck. And that is tonight at like 2 in the morning. So I have some time. It's like 9 a.m. right now. The decisions that I made were I swapped over the fuel bowl, filter housing, all that stuff from this engine onto this one. I'm going to keep as much of this as simple as I possibly can for right now to make sure that this fires up. I can get in there. Yes, it's going to suck if I have to do that, but it is what it is. I also know now that I can pull this engine out in like 4 or 5 hours. So if I want to come in and do a complete overhaul of this, it's not that big of a deal, because like obviously like the tensioner looks like shit. There's a bunch of stuff I could pull off this engine, but I'm just not going to at this point. So yeah, I'm going to keep the fuel system right now the way that it is. Everything else as close to it the way it is, because I want to keep this simple, because I want this to fire up. And that way, if it doesn't fire up, I have less variables that I'm dealing with. So that is the goal right now. Like I said, it's about 9 a.m. I have all day and all night to get this truck up and running. I think I can do it in that amount of time. But for right now, there's a couple things I need to address. One is that engine mount is not, I don't know if you can see it. So there, that bolt right there, that engine mount is not all the way in. I need to lift this up just a little bit and reset those bolts. This one is pretty much in, as you can see with that bolt sticking out, but I have a feeling the backside is not in. Maybe I could have pulled the bolts out, but my thought was I wanted it to sit in that spot, and then I can always just lift up a corner and then redo it that way. But it is sitting correct right now, like it's sitting on its own. The backside seems to be tilted up, and I'm not entirely sure why. It might be caught on the transmission, but we'll get there and get that stuff connected. But for right now, that is the goal. Get as much of this done as possible, and see if I can make this happen. So for right now, it's gonna be reset the engine and get this going. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of motivated, but I'm not. I'm tired. It's been a long several days of doing this. I've done it almost completely solo, minus my neighbor Keith coming over to help me to get the engine out, and my son Xander kind of helping me get this back in. So, all right, I just got to buck up and get this done though. All right, we have everything lined up, which is fantastic. I got 2 bolts into the transmission, so we're good on that front. Now it's just going to be making sure that's all lined up, and hopefully I was smart enough to get the flex plate and the torque converter lined up correctly. I think I did. But I'm like second guessing myself quite a lot. Now just bolt up the transmission. Once that is bolted up, then I will put the flex plate on. Once that is on, then we start getting everything plugged in. Yeah, that's happy. I'll tighten up the engine, or the engine mounts near the end, because I want to make sure that I can still wiggle it once I have all the bolts. Okay, we've run into our first gigantic issue. I was putting the torque converter in, and one bolt, not super happy about going in. Yeah, I got everything else buttoned up on it. I got everything else torqued, because I want to make sure everything was sitting correct. and I'm going to use my phone to hopefully look in to see what's going on. But I'm really hoping I don't have to re-tap that. If I can, there's at least an access hole. Yeah, just not good to have to re-tap the torque converter. So we're going to see. I'll see what I see. That's about all I can do at this point. But oh, what a doozy of a problem to have. Let's see if I can see from here. Okay, I can see it, but I can't quite tell if there's what the issue might be. Let's see if I can zoom in even more. There's just not a lot of light. Hard to tell how that looks. Oh man. Okay, I think I got it. I cleaned up the threads. I didn't have the right tap, but I just kind of went in with the pick and scraped around and cleaned things out. So fingers crossed, we're good. I got it torqued down. It still went in kind of tough, but it was much easier. At least I could move it. Fuck, I just hope that doesn't come back to bite me. We'll see. So I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna leave the access port open. I basically just want to get the engine to a point where it's cranking, so I can just make sure that it does fire up. So that's the point I want to get to right now. Okay, so here's where we're at when I'm exhausted. I have there's ATF everywhere. There's cardboard. I'm trying to keep it as clean as I can here, but I hooked up the transmission cooler just so I'm not spraying ATF everywhere. I have the power hooked up just temporarily for right now. I don't have the belt on. All I want this to do is like one puff. Like that's it. I just want like one quick and then it's going off. We'll see if that happens. I have no idea, but I think I've got everything hooked up that should be hooked up in order to do that. We're gonna find out. So I got lights on in the dash, and keys are where? Probably in my office. All right, I'll be right back. And it turns out they're actually in a safe place that made total sense, and that's why I couldn't find them. So let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, one second. Okay, I'm gonna turn it, at least get it. That's a good sign. The engine light is flickering. It's cranking, so the battery's basically dead. Never heard that before. Seen that before. All right, let's get a battery boot. Okay, hooked up the MAF. It is possible I have to bleed it. I'm gonna give this a quick spritz. That's about it, just a little one. And let's see if that does it. You never know, might be enough. That's not a good sound. Really don't like that sound. Okay. Okay. Might have to let it charge up a bit and maybe bleed the fuel system, which looks like it's leaking from somewhere. So, time to search for that. Yay! That could be why. All right, this is what it's doing. So, flashing. The coolant template is also flashing, and the fuel pump in the back is just. So it's doing something, but I have a feeling it's like trying to prime or something like that. You can hear it clicking all the way up here too, the injector pump. So, and the battery. Something's not right. Turns out this ground is important because watch this. Now it's fine. Okay, fix this and then we come back. Okay, ground fixed temporarily. That sounds significantly better. Still have check engine light on, which is fine. ECM issue, ECM power intermittent signal. Cool. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, that was close. Holy shit. Holy shit. Welcome back. Good news is, truck is almost done. Bad news, I did not hit my arbitrary goal being able to pick my wife up from the airport in this truck, which is fine. It was literally just an arbitrary goal. So this is where we are at. Big things left to do. Drop the body down because a lot of these pipes and fittings and things are just not lining up. So like a good example is the lower rad hose is just not wanting to go in, but I have a feeling once this all drops down, it should all fit. That is my hope, at least. Outside of that, it's gonna be a once over of everything. I got to zip tie the electrical stuff off to the side. It's kind of just all over the place right now, so I gotta make sure it doesn't hit anything. And then intake, air system, basically hook up the AC or intercooler and then AC. It doesn't really matter with the AC because I'm not having it charged. And then bumper and hopefully test drive. And I will hopefully set up a time lapse this time because I set it up and then keep forgetting to hit record. So whatever, I'm sorry. At least you don't have to sit through stupid time lapses. Also, it's gonna rain, so I just want to get this done. Yeah, and it's my birthday, so happy birthday to me. My goal is to get the truck done. We'll see. Okay, minus the front bumper. Everything is bolted back up. I got jumper cables on just in case. Yeah, I think, knock on wood, we're good. Oil level's good. I know I'm gonna have to top up power steering. I guess I can add coolant in as well and test all that out. So I'll get that topped up. Yeah, we're pretty much ready to go, it looks like. Crazy to think. So I'll get some coolant in there, get some water in, and we'll fire it up and do kind of a pressure test on everything, make sure nothing's leaking. Okay, here we go. So everything is topped up, and let's see if she wants to go. So far, so good. And that fired up quick. Just check to see if there's any leaks. Nothing pouring out, so that's a good sign. Top the water up. Might as well just keep that there. Power steering, obviously, that has been, looks good so far. Do have an engine code. Washer fluid's low. That's interesting. Let's get this boy plugged in. We'll see if anything comes up. But so far, good oil pressure. Battery's good. Fuel's good. ECM processor. I think that was from the last one. I may not be able to turn it off. All right, I'm gonna pressure test the coolant now. Okay, everything ran well, thankfully. The only thing I want to do is just revert the tune back to stock on it. So it's doing that right now. I've got to put the body mounts back in, so I'm going to do that while it's writing the tune. But everything else seems to be good. I got to do a bit more coolant flushing, but that's going to take a little bit of time. Oh, I got to do that. And we still got a couple of wires to tuck up, but we are pretty much there, thankfully. After far too long of trying to get it out of the spot it was in, we're now on the road, peeps. So, what I can say, did I just fucking hit that truck? Well, that's what I get for not paying attention. Thank God I got another bumper and another tailgate. So I can do more work. Ah, stupid. Absolutely stupid. Something rubbing now? Oh no. Yeah. Something doesn't feel right. I don't think anything got bent. It looks like all bumper. Hopefully. We'll find out. I can't believe I just hit a tree. Well, got more work to do. So far, feeling pretty good. Holding first for what feels like forever. There we go, there's second. Alright. So far so good. It's really holding gears. Now, that could be the tuner. That could be the transmission hasn't run in a while. I'll have to check the fluid when I get back. Yeah, the shifts are crisp, to say the least. I might just flip it back to being, there's also this clicking. I gotta figure that out. That's not gonna go well. I might put it just back to stock and see how it drives. But so far, so good. Yeah, first, second, like it's a pretty violent, which is interesting. So I'm wondering if that's the tune, and if I go back to stock, if that'll fix it. But so far, so good. Oh, man. That clicking's gotta go, though. I have a feeling it's like the key interlock or something. Or is it? No, it's definitely in there. So I gotta fix that, but so far, so good. Transmission temp is fine, I would hope. I'm gonna give it one pull when we get out onto the road and see how it likes that. And then pull her back in and go from there. But yeah, it holds gears for what feels like forever. And drive. Just like makes lots of turbo noises though, which is kind of nice. All right, well, see what happens. Not gonna like punch it, but I'll give her a little bit of juice. Brakes are phenomenal. Now I came off of something that had absolutely god-awful brakes. That sounded like exhaust banging around. So I have to look into that. Definitely rolls coal, which maybe isn't something I necessarily want, but yeah. Definitely rolls coal, so I have to look into that. I think that's just because it's not tuned for the 30 over injectors, which kind of sucks, so definitely needs a tune, a new rear bumper and tailgate, but so far so good. Okay, so switching back to basically all stock, wasn't any better. If anything, it was worse. It was almost like downshifting, which was weird. Felt like it was dragging, so switching back to the tune I was on before, and fingers crossed everything fires up fine, but that's where I'm at right now with it. So we're just waiting on that to reprogram. Smarty Touch, old system, no switching on the fly. I know I need to get this properly tuned. I just want to get to the point where it's drivable. I also need to figure out the clicking. That's gonna absolutely drive me insane. All right, so there it is. The truck is up and running. I got a lot of cleanup to do. Pretty pumped about it. Absolutely hate what I did to the rear ends, but I was an idiot. That's all there is to it. So that's it. Thank you again, guys, for watching. I know this is definitely a different one. Let me know if you like these build videos. I have a lot more to do. I've got the Protege to work on, the G's, getting a roll cage, lots of projects. Let me know if this is the kind of stuff you like. Obviously, I got to replace the rear bumper. I got to put the front bumper back on. I got a lot of stuff left to do, but let me know what you think this truck still needs. I have a few ideas, but I would love to hear what you guys think as well. Thanks again for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, grab some merch as well while you're at it. And I need to go to bed.